guys, it's Tina and I am back, and I have another get ready with me video featuring some new products that I picked up that I wanted to try out for you guys. One of them happens to be the Gemini palette from Melt Cosmetics. Now this palette is limited edition. It was curated by the CEO of Melt Cosmetics, and I think she is a Gemini for astrology followers. That's what she is. So she did like a split palette where she has warm browns and then swampy greens on the other side, and this color selection was right up my alley. This is what I was thinking about when I picked up the Subculture palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. Let me actually grab that. So here's the Subculture palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. Now the shades that really pulled me in were these green shades and like the mustardy oranges. Those were the shades I was really excited about in this palette. And for the Gemini palette, she took those shades and like multiplied them. And that's why I was drawn to this. They aren't really similar to the shades in this palette. Maybe the warm tone mustardy shades, but the greens are different. The greens in this are more blue based, and these are definitely more yellow based tones. So I'm gonna put this to the test. We'll see how I feel about that, along with quite a few new products as well. So if you want to see this get ready with me video, then stay tuned and I'll talk to you soon. Alright guys, so I'm starting off with my eyes prepped and primed and my eyebrows filled in. So I have concealer down and I powdered my lids just to set that concealer in place. And as I mentioned in the intro, we're grabbing the Gemini palette from Melt Cosmetics. This is new and limited edition. So I love these colors, but I feel like this palette is definitely fall inspired rather than summer. But I love these grungy shades, and I'm excited to see what comes of this. So I'm going to go in with the first shade here, which is Luna, which is a caramelly brown shade, like a medium tone brown. This is going to be more of, yeah, my skin tone. I could have definitely used this shade just to set the concealer down because it is literally my skin tone, which is great to have in a palette. If you are lighter, if you're more porcelain skin, this is probably going to be a little bit too deep. It's not going to be your true skin tone shade, but you can still use it as a transition color. Next, I'm going in with Lorelei, which is this mustardy shade. These shades seem a little bit powdery, so just be careful. There's some kickback. And I'm going to use this somewhat as a transition shade as well. It is a beautiful mustard yellow, which I love these kinds of tones, especially on my skin tone. I find that they make great transition shades, and it's not as stark as like a bright yellow or a bright orange. So I love the mustard color to this. And just back and forth windshield wiper motions. As you can see, these are a little bit powdery, so you see them floating around. Alright, next I'm going to go in with Polka Dot, which is the orangey brown shade. It's like a bronzy brown. And I'm going to just buff that. Same place in the crease because I'm creating some depth and dimension. Oh, that is a beautiful color for my skin tone. You see that? That is beautiful. I'm bringing a little bit of that on the outer lid as well. And I'm just picking up color as I go and doing like circular motions, buffing motions, just to build up the dimension. Oh, that's really pretty. I like that shade. It's not overly pigmented either, or maybe because I already powdered my skin, but it's not like giving me too much intensity right away. It's rather just giving me a beautiful shadowing in that crease, and it blended really nicely. So I picked this palette up mainly because it reminded me of Subculture from Anastasia Beverly Hills, or what I wanted Subculture to be. Like the tones in Subculture that really pulled me in were those mustardy yellow browns and like those fudgy shades and then those greens. That's what really pulled me into Subculture. And because Subculture pretty much failed from a formula standpoint, I was excited to see what Melt Cosmetics brought to the table. Melt Cosmetics does their beautiful melt stacks. So I was like, all right, that formula I do enjoy. So I'm hoping that the palette, they kind of bring the same formulation. These are powdery. Not as powdery as Subculture, but just be mindful that you might want to just slightly tap into them. I'm picking up Cupcake now, which is that chocolatey, fudgy brown. I should have put some more. Okay, see? I have a little fallout. That's because the shades really pick up as soon as you tap into them. So you get this powdery effect, which, I mean, as long as you know that's what's happening and you can plan for it, like doing your foundation after your eyes, that's fine. But just be mindful of that. I always do my eyes first, so it's not a big deal to me. All right, I cleaned off my brush and I'm just going around the crease area just to blend those out. So the two brown shades, Polka Dot and Cupcake, one is slightly deeper and then the other one's a little warmer, but there's not too much differentiation from what I can tell. And I'm feeling like that's going to happen between these two green shades as well. I feel like I want to go in with Leo, which is the darker green. This is a beautiful green. I love these kinds of greens. Like Velvet Moss from MAC. It's discontinued now. It was one of their matte squared shades. Oh, that was one of my favorite colors of all time. And I'm so mad that they discontinued it. So I'm just applying this shade on the outer V. Okay, that's not really picking up as much as I wanted to with this brush. Let's see if another brush will work. I'm going to use this Sonia Kashuk blend-in crease brush. So Sonia Kashuk redid her brush line and she did away with makeup. So if you go to Target, there's no longer like the Sonia Kashuk makeup line. Which, I mean, if she wants to take a different direction, I can understand. And I think she sold the line too, did she? I think that's what happened and they're taking it a different way, but or something like that. I don't know. It's a different direction. They're new brushes, new brush styles. So this is the blending crease brush and this was only $6, so I don't mind. That green did not pick up like I wanted it to, so I'm gonna try the other green, which is Fire OG. Let's try that guy out. Does that applies a little bit more intensely. Again, I have that fallout, but I'm really trying to get the green up, so I'm building up the color, and that's going to give me more fallout the more I try to build it up, obviously, because I'm not tapping off my brush. So the green isn't bad if you're looking for a very subdued green. That's not too crazy. It's muted for sure, and it does blend away. Maybe we should have used a stickier base. And there's tons of fallout, like, can you see that? Yeah, don't mind this pimple. It's keeping us company. It's fine. All right, didn't love that. So we're gonna go in with the black, I think. Bonnie is the black shade. I'm gonna tap just a little bit of, ooh, it's powdery too, so be careful. You don't wanna pick the, okay, the black is intense. So I don't think necessarily that it's the primer or the lack of stickiness to the primer, because that black was like, here I am, bitch. Understand? So, okay, maybe not. It blended away. But that's okay, because you know what? With the black, sometimes you don't need it to be too crazy, because I really didn't need it to be crazy just now. I just needed it to add a little depth. Should we try it with a sticky primer? I don't feel like I want to do that. I'm just going to keep trying to build it up without a primer. So I'm mixing the two greens on the brush and just kind of pushing and pressing. Get a little bit of the black, because I'm trying to create like a smoky, deep look on that outer V. That looks a little better. I wish I didn't have to do as much. But now I know that if I'm doing this again, I probably need to leave my primer sticky, or at least mostly sticky. All right, I'm just gonna softly buff around the edges. It will get a little bit muddy, I'm seeing right here, as I'm trying to blend on this side. So that's something to keep an eye out for. Let's remove some of this fallout. Oh my God. I don't want to really create a sharp outline to that outer V, but I gotta get rid of this. Oh my God. I feel a little attacked because this isn't really showing up the way I wanted it to. It's not ugly, but I feel like I need more color payoff. So I'm gonna try this matte shade from Sephora. It's one of the new singles. They redid the formula, they redid the packaging. Now they're smaller and they're cheaper, and I like that direction. Like, I like that some brands are going cheaper. This is the shade Wild Island. It's number 347. It's like a matte teal green. So I'm gonna, it's not like this, oh, all right, okay. Can we, oh my God, Sephora. Look look at this. And I already have like one bag of shadow down. Like, I have tons of other shades down. And this green just came in and said, I'm available. I'm here. Don't worry about it. I got you, boo-boo. And gave me the color that I was looking for. All right, Sephora. All right. And I was just like being a little bit like, I was like, all right, let me see if this Sephora one's going to come through. And come through it did. That is beautiful. That is nice. So we see that there are shades that will do what I wanted it to do without the amount of effort that Melt was asking from me. And I had this experience with the Makeup Geeks Power Pigments. I was trying to do a look with them earlier. That wasn't working out. And so I was like, all right, let me do a look with Melt. And then that wasn't working out. And now here we are. I think that's good. I have a little bit of dampness from the makeup white, so it's causing, you see this? It's doing that. So I am going to end up having to do that crisp outer V to clean that up. Because it's wet, it's going to create like a darkening of those shades. All right. I'm not mad at this. Should we put something interesting on the lid? Let me think about this. All right, I figured it out. I think I'm going to go in with the Urban Decay Easy Baked Eyeshadow, which is a shimmery gold champagne. And I'm going to dampen my brush a little bit because I feel like this eyeshadow really gets metallic and beautiful when you use it damp. I'm using another one of the Sonia Kashuk brushes. This one is from, they have like a full brush set, but it's the same shape as the eye shading brush from the new brush series. So you can get this either in a kit or just get it as a single. And these are like $6 a piece for the eyeshadow brushes. So I'm just applying that eyeshadow just on the lid and blending it, just like using circular motions, pressing it out and buffing it back and forth, you know, as you do. And then I'll go back in with the green from Sephora and just make sure that I blend that with the one that the shimmer shade. So pull it in from the outer V and outer lid and blend it in and blur it with the shimmer shade. And you just do kind of zigzag motions to do that. For the brow highlight, I'm going to use Mirage eyeshadow from Makeup Geek. It's my go-to brow highlight, just with a MAC 252 brush. Blend it under the brow and bring it over and out. Over and out. I feel like I want to bring a little bit of this mustard shade, the Lorelei shade from the palette, into my inner lid, just to warm that area up a little bit. This blends away really quickly, so it's not going to be too overwhelming. It's just pulling color inwards. I think that's pretty good, so let's go ahead and apply mascara. I need to show you guys this mascara. This is the Elizabeth Arden Grand Entrance Mascara. It is such a good mascara, and I would not have tried this, but they sent it to me. And you know, the shape is like that curved cobra shape. It has more of those plasticky spiky bristles, and they're really short. Do you see how spiky they are? So it looks like a comb mascara. And typically these kinds of brushes don't work for me. Like, I love my Too Faced Better Than Sex. I love that kind of nylon bristle. But this guy, surprisingly, gives me a lot of volume. I did not expect that. It doesn't give me too much length. It doesn't really lengthen my lashes, but it has great separation. It layers really well without clumping. And I get so much volume from this. And because the bristles are so short and spiky, I feel like it multiplies my lashes almost, because it's separate. Like, look how many lashes I look like I have. Like, it's not clumping them together. It's separating them. It's making them really black and full. And I love it. Like, I absolutely love it. Now, like I said, it doesn't really give me any length, so they don't look longer, but look how full they look. Don't you love that? Like, look at the difference. Love this mascara. All right, let's do this face thing. So I'm gonna grab some MAC Prep and Prime Natural Radiance Base. This is Radiant Yellow, and I got this as a sample with a MAC order, and I hear Puffin's wife talk about this so much, so I'm trying it out, and I'm just gonna apply this all over my skin, rub it in. This pimple hurts so bad. Like, doesn't it look like it's causing me, like, terrible pain? Guys, pray for me, because I don't understand. Like, it's not, and with pimples like this, when I get pimples like this, they never truly, like, come up so I can pop them. They just, like, hang out for a few days, like a full week, and just leave me in pain, and then they shrink, and then that's it. And then they leave a mark. Like, why can't you let me be great? Let me be great. Puffin's wife said, she's a working makeup artist, she says she uses this on everyone, and it, even oily skin, and it helps to, like, not really control oil, but it doesn't make you more oily. So that's what I'm gonna try. And for the foundation, I am trying the Huda Beauty, what's it called? Hashtag Faux Filter High Coverage Cream Foundation. The shade I got was Gingerbread 430N. I don't even know. I decided to try this out for shits and giggles, to be honest. So that's what I'm doing. I'm like, I don't really have any strong feelings towards Huda, whether in the negative or positive. But, like, I don't really love everything she comes out with. But I said, let me try this foundation, because I heard reviews and then people stopped talking about it. And I was like, perfect, time for me to try it when people stop talking about it. So this is another Sonia Kashuk brush from the same collection that I bought. This set was $40, and I think there are 12, either 10 or 12 brushes in there. And this is a flat foundation brush, and they do have this again in the single. So all the brushes are available in single, but they have a different handle. The handles that they have are this, like, brushed muted champagne gold. In the set, they're the black handles, but same brush head design. Now with this foundation, it gives you really good coverage, and this shade match is actually pretty decent, and you do need a good shade match in this type of foundation where it's full coverage, because if there's a line of delineation, like if there's any difference with your skin tone, it's gonna show. So you have to make sure you really blend it out, get a really good match, and make sure you get along your hairline and down your neck, because this guy, oh my god, it will cover almost your soul. It's not like heavy full coverage, but it does definitely cover a lot of imperfections. Oh, this brush is nice. I always love, like, a kabuki style brush. You know, my favorite brush is the Marc Jacobs, the Phase 3 brush. But I've always loved, like, a flat top kabuki brush for foundation. So this is really nice. This foundation, like I was saying, nice coverage, but it has, like, a really intense smell. And it's like a chemical rose scent. Like, it's sweet, it's floral, but it is strong. It smells like straight up perfume. There's nothing natural, so she definitely added fragrance to this. And it's one of the strongest scents I've ever dealt with in a foundation, and it lingers for a while. Even throughout the day, like a couple hours in, I can still smell it. So it doesn't fade away very quickly. So if you're sensitive to scents at all, you are not gonna like this. And having fragrances in foundation is not necessarily a good thing, because fragrances can be irritants. So I'm not happy with the fragrance. And as far as this foundation goes, it looks pretty nice on the skin. Like, I do like the finish. I like the coverage. I like how it looks on my skin. Don't like the smell. And the wear is pretty decent, but about 5 or 6 hours in, it starts to look very makeup-y on me. Like you can see some of it settling in lines and stuff. So it's like a special occasion foundation where you're not gonna be out for that long if you have oily skin, at least from my experience. But I like how it looks, and it definitely looks nice on camera, and then it will look nice in photos, of course. So if that's what you want it for, and you're not looking for longevity necessarily, at least on oily skin. I don't know how it fares on normal or combination skin, but on my skin, definitely, yeah, it starts to settle and look a little bit like my skin is aged, which it is a little bit because I'm older, but still, like, can we not do that to me? Now for concealer, I'm going to use the Kevyn Aucoin Etherealist Super Natural Concealer. And the shade I'm using, this one is Deep EC07. It's a little orange, a little bit orange. Let me grab shade number 6 and maybe try to lighten that up a bit, because do you see how orange that is? Like, you see the orange, like it's not, I'm not tripping, right? It's very orange. All right, medium EC6 is definitely a lot lighter. Maybe even, maybe that's the one I should use. If you really want brightening, maybe that's the shade you would go for, but I'm not really like a bright under eye concealer kind of person anyway. This sponge is from e.l.f. They have a set where they have 3 different sizes, so they have a little baby one, a medium sized one, and then the big mama jama. Now the big one gets really big, but the other 2 don't really expand that much, which is interesting. So, but it's really soft. It feels really nice, and I love this concealer. See, oh my god, like, how flawless does under my eye look right now? I'm gonna zoom in so you can see, but that concealer, and it doesn't take a long time to set, so you don't have to wait like forever. Like some concealers, I let them sit a little bit longer under my eyes so they can start kind of setting down, and then blend them out, because then they kind of work a little bit better. They don't lose the coverage because they're not too liquidy. But this concealer, can you even stand it right now? How beautiful is this concealer? Yes, our friend is still here. How beautiful, how beautiful is that and it isn't too thick or creamy or heavy or too moisturizing. So this is like what Shape Tape needs to be, because this is beautiful. Blends into the skin so seamlessly. It blends into my foundation, like you can't tell where it starts or stops, and it looks so flawless, and it doesn't feel heavy. Love, love, love this. All right, let's powder everything. I'm using the Lancome Absolute powder. The shade I have is Absolute Almond. This is a radiant smoothing powder. Now, you've heard Jaclyn Hill talk about, I think it's maybe Golden or something, that she used as a setting powder, and everybody went crazy about it. Now, this almond shade is more matte. It has a little bit of radiance to it, but not really. Especially for me with my oily skin. Like, I don't want nothing radiant and crazy. But this powder is so finely milled and so beautiful. And the color, it's a tinted, let me show you. It's like a darker powder. And it gives this beautiful blurred effect to my skin. Oh my god, it's so beautiful. But I have to be careful because it is a darker powder, so it can come off a little bit dark on my skin. So I have to make sure, you know, that everything is nice and blended. This is still a Sonia Kashuk brush from the set, and I just bought the set today, but I was playing with these in store and I was so happy with how soft they were. And I saw this shape. This is the brush that I wanted. This one I think is $12 as a single. But this is the brush I wanted because it's a dome shape similar to my Tarte. You see how the Tarte powder player brush? Similar shape, absolutely similar. But this is a little stiffer, I feel. And then this is so soft and so forgiving. And I felt like if I was going to use this with loose powder, this would be perfect. So, and it is. It's everything that I expected it to be. So, look at this powder, guys. Look. Like, look at my skin. Isn't that's pretty, right? It's like, it makes everything just look so flawless and so beautiful. I'm a little bit fed up with the eyes, so I'm just gonna apply some lower lash mascara and then think about what I want to do on the lower lash line. If I even want to do anything, like, I don't know if, like, I don't know. Let me put some waterline liner on. This is Perversion 24/7 Glide On Pencil from Urban Decay. I'm not even gonna go all the way in. I'm just gonna go like 3/4 of the way in on my eye. These eyeshadows made me mad. What should I put on the lower lash line? I think I am going to do a little bit of blue because, you know, that's my go-to. And this is another one of the colorful matte shades from Sephora. It's the shade Surfin' USA 253 and it's matte. Beautiful shade. And I'm just gonna pop that directly on the lower lash line, just on the outer lower lash line, just to give a little bit of interest. I'm not trying to do anything too crazy. Yeah, just to give a little pop right there. And this is such a beautiful, it's like the perfect name, Surf USA. Isn't that gorgeous? Yeah, that's all right. I feel a little better now. Alright guys, so I went ahead and popped on some false eyelashes. The ones I'm using are from Ardell. They're the Faux Mink Wispies and it's the style Demi Wispies. Now these are beautiful lightweight lashes. They apply really nicely. I snipped off a couple pieces on the ends so they would not be as long. But these are really lightweight faux mink lashes from the drugstore. They're not too expensive and they give you the look of mink without being too pricey, and they're very, very comfortable to wear. So I popped those on and then I went over the lash band a little bit with a little bit of liquid liner. This is from Tarte. It's the Sex Kitten liner and I just covered up the lash band so it wouldn't show through. Now we can go ahead and finish up the face. I'm gonna go in with another Kevyn Aucoin product. This is the Neo Blush. This is the one in Sunset, which is a bright golden coral. So with this blush, you're supposed to have a trio. You have a matte side, more of a satin in the center, and then a golden champagne highlight. And you can mix them together or, you know, customize your shade. So I'm gonna just pop a little bit of the matte side on, mostly the matte side. I'm not really using any of the other shades. And I'm just going to blend that on my cheeks. I'm using this Wet n Wild P72 blush brush. I think it's the blush brush. That's what it's called. It's one of their new blushes. I ordered this when I ordered from the Flights of Fancy collection. I only got the blushes and this brush and I think 2 more highlight products. Not from the collection, but like from their overall permanent line because I wanted to try those out. Nothing else from the collection really appealed to me. Now this blush is so beautiful, so subtle, so gorgeous. It looks intense at first, but then once you blend it out, it's really nice. And this brush is really good as well. So check out some of the Wet n Wild stuff. They're doing some things. Now another thing that I want to show you guys on camera is Be a Light face palette from Becca. They released 2 of these. They're limited edition, I do believe. And this is the medium to deep face palette. And in here they have what's supposed to be a blush color, a contour shade, like a brightening shade. So not really like a highlight, but a brightening shade. And then they have blurring powder shade. So this is the medium deep palette. I also picked up the light to medium because this is a little bit dark for me. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. Whoa. So I went ahead and got that one. But I'm going to use the contour shade or the bronzer shade, apply a little bit of that on my hairline. Now these are more satin finish powders. They remind me a lot of the Hourglass powders, the ambient lighting powders with their texture. Like they're more of a baked finish, which I actually really like in a face product because I feel like it's a little bit more skin light than like a matte color. This is another one of the Sonia Kashuk brushes. And I'm just using this very lightly. If you know me by now, then you know I don't really like to chisel out my face or anything. I just like a very subtle contour bronzy look. And then I am going to use the blush shade. and use it as a blush topper because it's like a rosy hue, but it's a serious glowy blush and it gives such a beautiful sheen to the skin. I love it, and that's why I got the light to medium one, because I feel like that can be a highlight. All right, for the lips, we should do a nude because otherwise we're gonna throw everything off. So I'm gonna use this lipstick from Urban Decay. It's the shade Bun Bun, and it's from the Christian Leanne collection. They sent this to me along with the palette. I know it's sold out right now, but any nude that you have will do. This is actually a really beautiful color. It's one of their comfort mattes. And I've realized that more and more I've been loving the Urban Decay lipstick formula. The comfort mattes, I really enjoy them a lot because they're really creamy lipsticks and they have some really beautiful shades, especially like their warmer shades. They came out with like Fuel and Heat and all of those to go with their Naked Heat palette, and I really love that. So apply that, very nude, and then I'm going to top it off with one of the Becca Glow Glosses. Which shade is this? This is Rose Gold. So they sent me these as well, and glosses are making a huge comeback. Everybody has a gloss. This is a nude with like champagne glitter, but you can't feel the glitter. It's really just like light reflecting particles, kind of like the Fenty gloss. Because I feel like once Fenty came out and she had that glowy gloss, everybody else is doing this glowy gloss to go along. I don't know. But anyhow, it's good for the summer. I really like this look, how it finally turned out. Oh my god, you guys, go and swatch this palette. And again, these are not necessarily like a highlight powder. It's just meant to brighten your skin. And it's not going to give a lot of pigmentation, and then you have a blur powder. And I think these products are really nice. They're a little bit powdery, depending on the brush you use. Like, you can really kick up a lot of powder. But this highlight and this blurring powder, love it. The brightening powder, I don't see too much of an impact, but you can get like a little glow to the skin from it. I don't know, like, I don't know. I bought these myself, and I was really happy, so happy that I bought the second one. Let me show you the two of them together. So here they are, right? It's different packaging. One's like a rosy gold, like a deeper hue, and then one's like a champagne gold. Fingerprints are everywhere. So the lighter one's on top and then the deeper one's on the bottom. They're really reflective, so you may not be able to see that. But I went ahead and grabbed both of them just because I really love the texture of these. So here you have it. This is the completed look, and at the end of the day, after doing a lot of work to make the eyes work, I actually do like how it turned out. I do like the mustardy orangey shades paired with the green and then with the blue underneath. I think everything worked out together, but I would not necessarily recommend this Gemini palette here. It just didn't work the way I needed it to. Now I'm going to give it another shot. I'm going to try like a stickier primer. I'm not going to set my primer necessarily. I'm going to try it out some more because I really love the color scheme. Like the whole shade selection here, it's something that I've been waiting for from a company, and I'm glad that Melt decided to do it, but they didn't do it that well. But we're going to see. We're going to give it another shot. But Sephora came through. These Sephora shades are really good, and they have tons of neutral shades. The matte shades are the ones that I'm most impressed by. The shimmer shades, I don't really love them as much, and the glitter shades, like I feel like they're too flaky, too loose. The metallic shades or the frosty shades, I feel like you have to kind of use them damp to get a really nice payoff from them, but the mattes are really good, and I think you guys should definitely check those out. They're new again, and they're depottable, so they come in the single little pot, but they allow you to pop the, is that the bottom? Yeah, you pop the bottom off. You like don't have to apply heat or anything. Let me pop this off without ruining my nail. So you pop the bottom off and it comes right out in a pan form, so you can pop this in an empty magnetic palette. They have their own magnetic palettes available as well, and you can stack them that way, or you can keep them in their little pots. I love the concept of those, and I love that they went cheaper, they went smaller, because they used to have the much larger pans Let me grab one. So here are the older eyeshadows. These were 0.07 ounces and now they're 0.042 ounces. Which, yeah, you're getting less product, but you're spending less as well. And how often are you going to go through a single eyeshadow? So that's something to keep in mind. I love that brands are doing that. It might be more per ounce in the long run. Like if you do a calculation, it costs more per ounce. But I'd rather pay less and get less than pay more for something that's huge that I'm never going to use up. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, enjoyed seeing some new products put to test, saw some struggles that I had, and maybe that will help determine if you want to try any of these out. As usual, I'm going to leave a full list of the products mentioned and used in the description box down below, along with links on where you can pick them up. Those links, most of them happen to be affiliate links that I generated through Sephora and Ulta. That means that I get a small sales commission if you make a purchase through those links. If you're not comfortable with that, just shop the way you normally shop. And then the products from Melt Cosmetics you can find through their website. I will also leave links to my Twitter and Instagram accounts where you should be following me along. And until my next video, which hopefully will be very soon, I'll talk to you. Bye, guys.